Hello, Shalon Winter here, doing my trade session review. Today's session is going to be over August 2nd, 2022. That is Tuesday. And as always, here's my risk disclosure. Trading is risky. You can lose all your money. Know what you're doing before you do it. Take a moment and pause the video to read over that. Continuing on. Today, I'm on the NASDAQ as usual. And getting started. Immediately as I'm starting, what am I looking at? As usual, I mentioned I do a quick analysis of what's happening. Right now, what do you see? It's kind of going sideways. I see a bottom here, right? I see kind of like a little trend making a top, but it kind of forms a little bit of a sort of a range. But you can see a clear top, clear bottom, and then now it looks like price is breaking short of it. So heading down towards the deviation. So what am I going to do? I'm going to wait and see if it continues to run short. And let's just kind of bring it fast forward here. Chops around a little bit and heads back up. See, and this is why, let's see. Let me fast forward it. Yeah. So like this is why I like it to, just because it kind of broke here, right, and started heading back up, I like for it to break it nice, like little, like further than this, than just, because see this, if this was the bottom here, it broke it by really 1-2 full bars, right? Maybe 3 if you count this one, like complete bars, not just the halves. A complete bar under this bottom. You really 1, 2, 3. It's not a lot. So this very well could come back up, be a false breakout, come back up and stay playing in this zone, right? So for my LREs, I like it to break out further, then come back and test it. For the most part. Now, see, it did run back up. Oh, look at that. Then it made a nice run back up. So if this was an LRE here or somewhere in this area or even here, you would have not done too well. Okay. And that's actually what I'm going to talk about. I pulled up the simplicity chart to show you. This came down and actually gave an LRE here. Yeah, so you would have been in the LRE at about 55, 56 area. So as this was coming up, you would have entered in around this area here. And which means you would have needed it to come down to about here to win. And this one would have lost. So, and it actually gave an early entry long against you. So that's what I mean by I like it to break out further first to tell me, hey, we are breaking out of that zone. Because in this case, it did not. It gave us a nice fake out. And then look at the, well, come on, come back here. Look at the 30 tick here. Let me bring it back up. There we go. You have all these clusters in this zone. You can see here's top, bottom, top, bottom, top, bottom. It's kind of messy. Little chop, bunch of clusters in there. So just wait. Just wait. Let's let it do something else. Just gonna fast forward to get out of this area because see, look, it stays in this zone. Now it's back down again to the bottom. Now it's trying to break out of it. Now we're going. See that? Now it's coming down. Okay. Now we're on a clear trend down, right? Yep, let me back up. Now we're in a clear trend down. So if we get a pullback, I'm going to take an LRE. Especially if it's anywhere around this area here. Then that'd be great because it's trending down. It's going to come back up, test the area. And if the LRE works, it's going to continue back down. And as you can see here, there was kind of a bottom here. It broke, formed a newer bottom, came back up, chopped around, couldn't really quite break this dev, came back up. Then it broke through. Now it's testing the bottom of this dev, right? testing it, come back down. And it's probably going to, even though my entry was here, it's probably going to come back up close to this dev. Because it's going to want to test the area. Now, this is trending down now, so there's nothing really between my entry and this wall. So I went ahead and set my wall as a target. But as I'm sitting in this trade, I'm thinking, well, it kind of got a little choppy down here at the bottom. We did have ODD back here. Then it came down a little further chopped. If anything, this thing might just come back down to this bottom. So let me go ahead and move my target. And that's what I do in a minute. Because I'm thinking about it now. I'm like, okay, this thing might come back up and try to test this area. And if it doesn't just run down, then it might just only come back down to this bottom. So better safe than trying to overshoot a target. See, and it's sure enough coming back up. I will go ahead and move my stop behind the dev because I figure it's going to want to test around the area. So I'm going to go ahead and move my stop behind the dev. If it breaks the dev, then no. Then it's no good. Now we got a star low volume score right here. This 8 with a star low volume score. So that's telling me, okay, if this bar closes down, that's a good sign. That might be the end of it. And we might head down. And we do. So this is where I went ahead and moved my target to this bottom because I've lost a little bit of confidence in this coming all the way down to the wall. So now what I'm doing is this, as I've mentioned before, when my profit gets at least 3/4 of the way, when the price gets at least 3/4 of the way to my profit, that's whenever I go ahead and move to break even and just let it work. So now we're at 20 ticks profit. I moved to break even. Well, it's really one tick in front of my even. That way, try to cover commissions plus slippage. Now I'm up 24 ticks. See how close I am to my target? I don't want this to turn around, come back up, and give me a loss, right? So I'm at break even, basically. And at this point, if it comes out and knocks me out at even, okay, next trade, whatever. If it hits my target, beautiful. Now, if it comes down to my target, like right in this area, and just is a tick away, 2 ticks away, and it just really can't hit it, and it's just starting to oscillate and chop in here and just struggles really bad, I'm just going to hit the close button and lock in whatever I can get. It's kind of how I manage my trades. But it popped down, hit my target. I got about 30 ticks on this trade. And that was my one and done for Monday. That was it. But let's just see if it comes down and hits that wall. So it does not. It actually gave a Lorex against it. Set of clusters here. Not saying this was a Lorex you'd want, but it gave the signal against it. Then it comes down a little further. But as you can see, it never hits that wall. So that was a good decision that I made by just going ahead and putting my target at the bottom where it was to the left. And, now it's just chopping, comes all the way back up. And that's what I mean. If I had my target down here at the wall and I never managed my trade correctly, it would have chopped down here, came up, chop, came up, and I would have taken a full loser on something that was beautiful. So, got to manage your trade well. And it heads all the way back up. So, and that was it. That was the only trade I took. Unfortunately, I did not pull up the simplicity chart on this one. I think I forgot. But you know what the simplicity chart looks like. In my opinion, the order prints, 10 tick, 30 tick, all that is more important than just seeing the simplicity chart. Because if you imagine a simplicity chart, this is 2 red simplicity lines going down, right? Going down, pulled up to the solid line. That's it. That's what you would have seen on the simplicity chart. So that's it on this one. I just had a one and done. And I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you on the next video.